Now, when it comes to white sauce pasta, I generally prefer it to be a little bit saucy. The pasta should be al dente, and to be honest, white sauce pasta is my favorite, and it's much easier to cook than red sauce pasta. And the best part is that it's quite creamy as well as quite cheesy, and that's how I like it. Hey guys, this is Bharat, and welcome to Bharat's Kitchen with a simple white sauce pasta recipe. Okay, so let's begin with it. So first things first, you need to first boil your pasta. So here I've kept a big pot. To that I'm gonna add about a liter of water. The important part here is that you need to provide enough salt to the water so that the pasta absorbs the right amount of salt and it has a little bit of flavor attached to it. And the next point that you need to keep in mind is that before you add any pasta to the water, it needs to be boiling. So when your water it starts to bubble a little bit, then add your pasta and let it boil. Now I know that you've heard that while boiling the pasta you need to add a little bit of oil, but that apparently is not at all right. Actually, when you make a fresh pasta like ravioli or any fresh pasta, that's where you need to add oil. Basically to eliminate the skidding of the pasta. But here, since I'm using a dry pasta here, I don't need to add any form of oil. Alright, so now you just need to check whether the pasta is al dente or not. That is, it should be about 90% cooked. Not 100%, 90%. Because some amount of cooking will also be done while in the white sauce. So that is why don't cook it throughout. The pasta needs to be a little bit snappy. Wait, I'll also cut and show you. You see, when I cut it with a knife, there is certain amount of resistance in the pasta. And that's how you want your pasta. Alright. So I've basically drained out all the excess water, and since I don't like my white sauce pasta to be sticky or starchy, I'm gonna remove all the excess starch by washing it off with some cold water. You can certainly skip this step if you like a sticky pasta, but personally I do not. Alright, now the pasta is out of the way. Now let's prepare the other things that we're gonna need. So here I've taken an onion, a carrot, some corn, some bell pepper and some black olives. So basically you need to roughly dice the onions, dice the carrots. The corns are already very small so you don't need to cut them, but you need to dice the capsicum and that'll be about it. Now the flavors that we're gonna add in the pasta are first and foremost, you need lots of garlic cloves. About 6 to 7 should be fine. Just finely chop them. Also, you're gonna need some basil leaf, oregano, thyme, and chili flakes. And also to make the bechamel sauce or the basic white sauce, basically I've used a cup of milk, but you can add more if you find the sauce a little bit thick. Further, you're gonna need equal amounts of maida or all-purpose flour and butter. That is 1/3 cup in my case. Alright, now it's time to cook. So first we're gonna cook the vegetables. That's right. So I've taken a pan, kept it on a medium flame. You're gonna need to add just a little bit of oil. And first we're gonna roast our garlic. Now when the garlic is a bit roasted, now add your onions, carrots, and the best part here that it's quite easier to cook because you don't need to cook the onions very well, which takes good amount of time. So with the onions, I've added capsicum and quickly I've also added corn. But I've not added olives here right now. I'm just going to roast the vegetables on medium flame for a little bit, let's say for about 3 to 4 minutes. Just toss them up a little bit. Basically, I want to soften them. And when they're all softened a little bit, then I'm going to add the olives. Alright, after roasting all of them, just take them out in a bowl. And now let's start to make the bechamel sauce. So I've taken a kadhai and make sure you keep it on a very low flame. Because basically we're going to melt the butter here. You cannot burn the butter. You cannot burnoise it. It should be silky smooth. And that's a key here. Alright, when you start to hear a nutty note from the butter, that is the butter fat has started to separate with the butter. That's the right time to add maida. And make sure you keep stirring here. And to introduce a little bit more flavors, I've rashly grated fresh jaifal here, that is fresh nutmeg here. And that's really gonna enhance the flavor of the white sauce pasta. Alright, so you need to toast the maida a little bit. Basically, you need to use your nose here. That's right, you need to find out the right nutty smell the maida has after roasting it. And in about 2-3 minutes. Now we need to start to add milk, but very slowly. And here you cannot use any other utensil. You have to use a whisk here because whisk will make sure that there are no lumps. So keep whisking with your right hand and add milk little by little. So add a little bit of milk, whisk it vigorously, then add a little bit of more milk and whisk it vigorously more. And that's the right way to do it. Alright, when you get a little bit of saucy consistency, that's where you can add rest of your milk. And when the milk starts to boil a little bit, then add processed cheese cubes. And I'm using 2 processed cheese cubes here. You can use as much as you want and as little as you want. It's totally up to you. Now the processed cheese will gently melt. Remember, keep it on a low flame and let the processed cheese melt gently. Further, I've also added some salt and the seasoning that we made earlier. Just mix it properly and then add all the roasted vegetables and mix them again as well. Now you need to add the boiled pasta and let it simmer a little bit. That is, let it cook on a low flame so that all the flavors integrate with the pasta and you get a saucy kind of consistency. Now here, if your pasta is very thick, you can add more milk, and if it is very thin, then just cook it out. Last things that you need to add is about a teaspoon of cream. You can also go with a tablespoon of cream. But your pasta is almost completely ready. Now one thing which I really like to do while serving the pasta is that I pour a little bit of pasta and then I add a little bit of mozzarella cheese in between and further coat it with more of pasta sauce. And that's how you get that string cheese kind of a consistency, which really enhances the experience of having a pasta.